for stakeholders on the project to be able to operate on a base level standard, it becomes more and more common to require BIM accreditation for anyone who wants to be involved in projects. Since 2016, and with a key year of 2018, we have been moving from mandatory BIM level 2 requirements on projects up to the UK BIM level 2 standards being approved as an international approach to BIM with the ISO 19650. And everything is happening really fast from 2018. We're starting to see more and more requirements for ISO 19650, but we also see other changes in the industry with the mandatory information in the 3D models about fire and structural safety, for example. And for stakeholders on the project to be able to operate on a base level standard, it becomes more and more common to require BIM accreditation for anyone who wants to be involved in projects now. And that is for the reason that the developer wants to make sure that, first of all, to meet the business objective of the developer, they are building a building that fits their portfolio and for a specific purpose for their business aims and objectives. But also to make sure that once the building has been built, it contains the information in a 3D model that is required to be able to manage this building once it's in operation. So more and more facilities management becomes the central point for the development of new buildings. And there are many ways or many options when you want to become accredited or BIM accredited, but the one that we recommend, and we have no affiliation with this company, it's Lloyd's Register, and we're not making any money out of this. We have picked Lloyd's Register because we think that they provide the most robust accreditation process, that not only looking at your standard PASA level 92 requirements of, do you have a BIM execution plan, can you respond to an EIR, do you have an information management process, do you have CAD standards and all that tick boxes BIM level 2 stuff. It's more about how the business is operating in general. And like I've been saying in some other videos and articles, is that BIM is not something that we do. BIM is something that we achieve, and we can't achieve BIM unless we have resources and standards and processes in place that is operating on a business level, not only on a project by project isolated way, where we have a BIM execution plan for a project, we have an information management for a project, we might not have an EIR, but we do it anyway. We have a 3D model, but some working in 2D until after planning, and there's loads of ifs and buts, and there's lots of things we can do to accommodate for project teams that have different standards and are on different level in their BIM journey. But the accreditation helps an organization to set a base level standard. Okay, so before we did accreditation, it was a little bit up in the air, and we had certain things, we didn't have other things. Once we have the BIM accreditation, especially from Lloyd's Register, we know that the business is operating on a specific level, and we know how to handle risk management, we know how to handle HR and recruitment, we know how to handle 3D modeling and data production, we know how to handle fire safety, we know how to handle validation and lessons learned from the project. And often now in the PQQs there is a tick box saying, do you have a BIM accreditation? And if you don't tick that tick box, you can't work on the projects. But by ticking that tick box, you're telling the developer that, yeah, I have the base level of knowledge and understanding and processes and capability in my practice or in my organization to be able to fit in with the new standards of how we're operating and working on projects in the UK. So from our point of view, I couldn't recommend highly enough the benefit of getting an accreditation from Lloyd's Register, to be able to tick that tick box, not from a paper pushing point of view, but from an actual business point of view, saying that you have a certain standard that you can maintain and contribute to the project to make sure that we reducing risks, reducing costs, reducing delays with time, and so on. All our implementations are geared, even our default template package is geared to be ISO 19652 compliant, and all the implementation that we do is approved to be approved by Lloyd's Register, meaning that when we're implementing our standards and processes and technology, to be specific for your practice, and Lloyd's Register comes in and validate that information or that standard and that processes, it will pass their accreditation. There are other things that we can't do. We have a little bit of input in terms of HR and training, but we don't do anything in terms of the legal aspect or the business risk management in itself. We have no input to that, but we can advise on aspects of the accreditation that you would need to focus on to be able to pass the Lloyd's Register accreditation criteria for those areas. If you have any questions on accreditation, or you're looking at moving into BIM, or you are already BIM compliant and you want to make sure that your compliance is meeting an accreditation criteria, you can get in contact with us and we can have a look at your system. Thank you.